Hey guys, Andrew Sluder, pastor of Bible Baptist Church in Asheville, North Carolina, and I wanted to do a quick video. I'm in my car, not in my typical setup, but I just had to do a video and wanted to hit on an issue that keeps rearing its ugly head, and it's an issue that I've dealt with in the past, and I'm going to deal with again right now, and it's the issue over twice married preachers, or just twice married people in general, okay? Now, for all of you out there who think that a man who's been divorced and remarried cannot preach, I have a question for you. I have a question. Every one of you will say that in the case of death, that a man can remarry and be okay and still preach and pastor. Everybody. I've never met a single guy who did not believe that, okay? They get that from Romans chapter 7, where Paul talks about that death allows a woman or a man to be freed from the law of their spouse. I 100% agree with that. What they fail to realize or fail to acknowledge is the fact that there are two more exceptions to remarriage. The first one is Matthew 19, where Jesus clearly says that if a man marries another woman, save for the cause of fornication, he commits adultery. It's so clear there. It clearly says in Matthew 19 that fornication is an exception. Then you have 1 Corinthians 7 verses 13, 14, and 15 that deal with a man or a woman who has an unbelieving spouse, and that unbelieving spouse departs from them, and then the Bible says they are under no bondage in such cases. Okay? Then you have also in the same chapter, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 27, 28, and 29, that deal with that if a man is loosed from a wife and he marries, the Bible says he has not sinned. And if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. So my question is, there are clearly three exceptions in the Bible. Clearly, death, adultery or fornication, and abandonment. My question is, why does death only apply to preachers? Well, yeah, if you get divorced and remarried, if your spouse cheated on you, or if the unbelieving depart and they departed, that's fine. But bishops, the only reason they can remarry and still preach or pastor or whatever is because of death. Why is that one the exception for preachers and pastors, but the other two can't be? There's nothing in Romans 7, speaking of the death of a spouse, that says this is the only exception for preachers. If he's the husband of one wife, then it's fine. I mean, if his wife dies, he doesn't have a wife anymore. If his wife leaves him up and abandons him, the unbelieving depart, then he doesn't have a wife anymore. If she commits adultery or fornication with another man, he doesn't have a wife anymore. Clearly, God acknowledges divorce in the scriptures. Hosea chapter 2 and verse 2 clearly says, Hosea says, "Go plead with your mother, for she is not my wife, and I am not her husband." So if God acknowledges divorce, and he does, and if God says that the two people who are divorced are no longer husband and wife, that means that if that were, God forbid, happen to me, and my wife leaves me, I no longer have a wife. And if I remarry, I only have one wife. And I've asked multiple guys about this, why Romans 7's the exception, but the other two aren't. And none of them can answer me, and none of them have a biblical reason. I'm not divorced and remarried. I've only been married to one woman in my entire life. I've only ever been with one woman in my entire life physically. So I'm not trying to justify myself in this at all. I'm just sick of seeing guys being put out of the ministry by the hypocritical brethren because they have an unbiblical standard that they're holding over people's heads. So anyway, I'm sure this will make some people mad, but there's no biblical answer for why you make an exception in Romans 7, but no exception for 1 Corinthians 7 or Matthew 19. You have no Bible for it. I'm sorry. I love you, but you have no Bible. Anyway, guys, I hope this is a help. All you guys out there who have unfortunately had some trouble in the flesh with your marriage, and you had a biblical reason for why you are no longer married, then you stick with it. I'm here. I'm backing you. I'm for you. Call me. I'll let you preach for me. I'm praying for you. We need more guys in the ministry, not less. All right, guys. God bless you. Hope you have a wonderful day.